We have a fourth line day. We're in gate 46, the gate of the determination of the self, the gate of the love of the body or not. And the fourth line is called impact. When you get to the fourth line, and you get to the upper trigram, you get to the transpersonal gifts. Now here you have somebody who is always trying to externalize. This is one of the great themes of the fourth line. And what they're trying to externalize is to let everybody see that they're in the right place at the right time. You know, they are externalizing their serendipity. And because of the fixed nature of the fourth line, part of what they're saying is, I'm in the right place at the right time, don't bother me. It can be very hard to move these people. In the exaltation, we have the ability, once recognized, to move rapidly from a position of obscurity to influence. The good luck which comes from being determined that eventually, in the right place at the right time, it leads to recognition. These are people that know how to externalize their experience in the now. They know how to make sure that other people do not get in their way. They're good at that because they're one-tracked. It's how they're designed. They are fixed on their experience, but not to the point of the exclusion, really, of the other, because, fourth line, very friendly. They need their network. They have their social gifts. They know how to keep their experience without alienating the people around them, and by finding valuable allies to help them fulfill their experience. The moment that they are recognized, they rapidly move upwards because they have really good skills and they can stay in their experience. The only thing about these people is that the experience is everything. That's their fixedness. And though they do have good social skills, and you really think they're very nice and they're very friendly and all of that fourth line stuff, and they well may be, the fact is they don't really pay that much attention to other people, even though they have got the social skills. They're just in their experience. The 46-4 is totally fixed on doing their own thing because they're doing it. They don't know why they're doing it, they're just doing it. The bird doesn't know why it sings. It just sings. And then somebody comes along and says, oh, you sing so beautifully. And all of a sudden you have recognition and success. But the bird doesn't sing for a reason. Well, we don't sing. I don't sing. We don't. What don't we do? We don't. I completely lost my train of thought there for a moment. It was all going so well. Okay, so the bird just sings. Okay, doesn't know why it sings. So we can do the same. Of course, we can just sing. We can speak and breathe and act for no reason. We're just alive. So the whole thing about the nature of this line of impact is that it has tremendous power. Having an impact is really important to this fourth line. It wants to be able to influence. That is its natural role. But they won't get discovered and they won't have any influence or impact unless what they're doing was entered into correctly. And this is the inherent truth. It's there in everything that we look at. You have to enter in according to your type, your strategy, and your authority. The manifester has to inform that they are going to be doing whatever it is, or they have to state their interest. The generator has to be asked, the projector has to be invited. It's all of these things are there. They are there in place to help us look after our energy and to make sure that we are in the right place at the right time. We know if someone is emotional, that they can't spontaneously enter into an experience. Now you have to wait to be clear so that when you do finally enter in, then it's correct. And then what you do, you will really do. You'll be right there in it, in the right place at the right time, and you'll have the influence that this fourth line really requires. as an emotional being, by waiting before you enter into an experience, you know that you'll be able to stay in the experience. You know, when you suddenly go down on your wave. And that can be really very difficult for most emotional people when they're not clear, when they haven't entered into something correctly. But if you've based your clarity through moving through your wave, and part of that was feeling into how it was when you were down on your wave, as well as when you're up and the whole way through, then when you were in the experience and you suddenly feel down, you can deal with it. No matter what line it is, no matter how horrific it may sound, the real nature, the purity, the innocence of that line is only revealed when you go into it as yourself. Ra said that if someone tells you as a 46-4 that all you have to do is be in the now and do your thing and people will discover you, they're lying to you, because it's not that simple. You have to be clear about how you enter into things in the first place, according to your nature. Otherwise, it won't work properly. So in the detriment, we have a reaction in achievement that tends to bite off the hand that fed it. The determination and success to ignore those who helped create it. This is transpersonal and it's collective. And what happens with these beings of impact is that the moment they are recognized, they forget about everybody else because they're so fixed on their process. And of course, everybody else resents them for that. The fact is, really, they're just in their experience and they can forget that you once helped them along the way. It's not that they don't care about you. And if they were really confronted with what had happened, they wouldn't realize it. And then they might really beat themselves up when they suddenly do realize that they've crushed people along the way and had no awareness of what it was they were doing. It's not their fault. It is something that they are. They can't be cured of it because they're designed to bite the hand that feeds them. And it is being in their experience fully that is what brings them their good fortune. This is actually quite a tough line. If you were with me back in July when we looked at gate 31, you may remember that the 31 line 4, the line of intent, in there we saw that no matter what the leader does collectively, the thing that is of value of society will still enthrall half the people and alienate the other half. That's just the way it is, really. There are so many people who resent success. They resent it. They're jealous of it. So the moment that someone has impact and influence, all of the people around are saying, oh yeah, well, that's because of me. They wouldn't have had that impact if it hadn't been for me. I helped them get where they are today, which of course is not necessarily true. It's not because of anything that they are where they are. It just is. The nature of a line is never something that is broken. It is not something that we have to heal. It's not about fixing these things. And there is a point when we've been in our experiment for long enough that actually the nature of any of the lines, they cease to have any meaning for us because we're in a different place. And most of this, or all of this, the Ravi chain was written for the not self. It's a sort of one big signpost as to what am I pointing at with my behavior or my way of being? Is there correctness here? It's ways of coming into alignment. This 46-4, they're just simply externalizing their experience and they're doing it at the expense of their social skills. This is who they are. And it's not like they're saying, I'm going to ignore everyone who helped me. It's not a conscious thing in that sense. Not at all. It's kind of nice that the grounding comes from a line that is called survival. This is the 25 in the 4th line. The 46 is totally fixed on doing whatever it is they do, and they are supported through a line that says The nature of true innocence can be maintained regardless of circumstances. As long as you enter into whatever it is you're doing correctly, you will survive. So the moon has been in the throat gate 35 since 652. It's the gate of progress, the gate of change. This is an energy that is always on the lookout for the next thing, the next moment, the next experience. It's in the same circuitry as our sun gate at the moment. It's a little bit of the energy of being there, done that, got the t-shirt. It's that kind of energy that can be in the 35. It's always looking for the next thing to do. Can get bored very quickly. Next stop for the moon is in gate 45, and that's at 1640. Another throat gate, another manifesting throat gate. It's called Gathering Together. This is the gate of the gatherer. It's the energy of the ruler, the clan leader. It gathers resources and guides others to manifest what is needed for survival, for prosperity. This is tribal. And you do all of this without sacrificing your own interests along the way. So is there any focus on this in your experience today? Now, sometimes the moon's energy can pass through too quickly for us really to pick up on it. Sometimes we can see it retrospectively. That's what that was about. And the gate 12. This is our last gate for today at 2:36. Tomorrow morning, the moon transiting into another manifesting throat gate. And this is the gate of caution. And it is also a gate of silence, even though it's a throat gate. It's a gate of articulation that is naturally cautious about expressing its individual and unique insights. It's the only social channel of the individual circuitry, this 1222, that runs between the throat and the solar plexus. It can be open and it can be closed. It can be gracious or not. Gate 12 can be cautious or not, articulate or not. As long as it's correct, it's fine, isn't it? So all that any of us can do is act according to our type, strategy, and authority. So thank you for joining me. Back tomorrow with a fifth line, working our way through this 46. And I don't think there's anything else I was going to say. Yeah, I think that's me for now. Have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are in your process. Have a wonderful process. That doesn't sound quite the same, does it? I'll see you tomorrow. Go gently.